You are sitting on a pile of airline miles, saving them up for a free flight someday. And the airline is perfectly happy to watch you save. Every mile in your account is money a bank already paid them for a flight they might never have to give you. Airlines make more money printing these miles than they make flying actual planes. A mile is a currency the airline invents for almost nothing and sells to your bank for around 2 cents each. What feels like a reward to you is just another sale to them. By the end of this video, you will see why an airline wants you to hold miles you paid for and never touch them. Let's go back in time to understand that airline miles did not start as a business. In 1981, American Airlines built the first big miles program. It worked like a coffee shop punch card. Fly enough, get a free flight. The point was loyalty. Fly us instead of them. Then the banks noticed something about you. People will change how much they spend to chase these little points. So banks started buying miles from the airline in bulk to hand out on their credit cards. The miles stopped being the thank you for flying and became a product with a buyer. And that buyer is your bank, not you. Look at Delta. In 2025, American Express paid Delta $8.2 billion for miles. Delta's entire operating profit that year was $5.8 billion. The check from one bank was bigger than everything the airline earned from actually running the airline. Take away that check and Delta barely makes money moving people through the sky. So the flights are not actually the product anymore. Every seat and every status tier is paid for the thing that actually pays. Your spending. In 2020, it got strange. Planes were grounded and airlines were burning tens of millions in cash a day. To survive, they borrowed billions against the miles. To get the loans, they had the programs appraised. Americans' appraisers put AA Advantage somewhere between $19 and $31 billion. At the time, the whole airline was worth under $10 billion on the stock market. On paper, the loyalty program looked worth more than the airline that owns it. But plenty of analysts said the appraisals were inflated, and the program cannot really be cut away from the airline. Nobody would collect an airline's miles if the airline stopped flying, but the fact that they could borrow billions against it tells you what the miles really are. Now back to the question, why does the airline want you to sit on your miles? First reason, a mile is a promise, and the promise you never call in is free money. When the bank pays for your miles, the airline takes the cash now. The seat you might book with them is a cost far in the future if it ever comes. Miles you never redeem are called breakage. And breakage is pure profit. The longer you hold, the longer they keep your money for nothing. But the second reason is actually worse. You are holding a currency that one company prints and controls. They can decide overnight that the same seat now costs more miles. Nothing about the flight changed, but the price of your savings did. Every month you wait, they hold your cash and can decide what your miles are worth. If you look at it, the airline works like a bank. It invests a currency, sells it to a real bank, owes you a service later, and controls how much that currency is worth. And the planes are just their marketing department. In 2024, regulators did start looking into this. The US Transport Department opened an inquiry into whether these programs quietly cut the value of miles people were promised. But an inquiry is not a verdict, and when you signed up, you agreed the terms that let them change the value whenever they like. And that is the reason why it keeps running even though half of you already sense it. So saving up miles is really just lending an airline your money and letting it decide what you get back. If you want the system behind the next thing you never questioned, subscribe and tell me in the comments which system I should take apart next.